We've also been having some operations of drunk driving. We've arrested in just 2 months of this year, January and February, 1,086 drivers arrested as a result of joint operations between the police and NTSA. And then motorcyclists, I think is a big problem. That sector must be brought to order by all means. You are the representatives of the people, Mr. Chairman and members. You must talk to the people you represent who are border riders to respect the law of our country. A victim mentality has been created around border riders. Every time we want to enforce the law, they will find a way of showing how they are being targeted, how they are being victimized, how they are being so forth and so on. This time round, we will not listen to any cry from anyone. When we do the things we want to start doing now, and we want to have a permanent enforcement campaign. We just called a meeting next week, which will be co-chaired by myself and the Minister for Roads and Transport. And everybody from police and NTSA will be present. And we have to agree on what we must do and save the country from this scourge. Nobody will be spared, including border riders. There was the coronavirus pandemic, a global pandemic that really interfered with the world and caused so many deaths. That pandemic lasted 2 years and a few months. The total number of Kenyans who died in the entire period of the corona pandemic were 5,650 for 2.5 years. A global, serious pandemic, devastating. 5,650. The people we lose every year in this country through road traffic accidents is on average 4,000 people a year. In 2022, we lost 4,650. In 2023, we lost 3,900 people on the roads. We have gotten used to these statistics as a country so much that we have, actually it appears like a normal routine statistical reporting. Some people who are not Kenyans from some countries, when they hear what happens in our country, they don't believe that you can lose 4,000 people in 1 year on the road. They think it's worse than a pandemic. And I say this because there are some countries in the world where the number of people lost through traffic accident in a year is less than 50. 50 people. In some countries, they report 0 deaths on the road the whole year. You may want to check some of the countries like Iceland and other countries, 100% safe countries, very minimal. The Scandinavian countries the same. Here in Kenya, we report thousands of deaths every year. Thousands are immobilized, disabled, and permanently injured. And therefore, Chair, I want to agree with you and your committee 100%. This is a national catastrophe. The worst security, the biggest security threat we face as a country is terrorism. In the last 12 years, the number of people we've lost through terror is a few hundreds total. 3, 4, maybe it was 500 if you even include even the Nairobi the bomb blast in Cooperative House in the 90s, late 90s. Total 500 people over 20 years. Roads, we are losing people on the roads, 4,000 every year. I don't think there is a greater national security priority. We cannot be burying Kenyans because of the impunity and inadequate attention on this matter. Honorable Chair and members, therefore, we will have to do things differently, and I want to call upon the people of Kenya, we have to change our culture, all of us. The kind of impunity, recklessness that you find on the roads is unbelievable. It is the objective, or rather it's one of the reasons why governments exist, is to protect the people of that country from risk and provide on eradicating corruption among police officers. We have a very patriotic cadre within the National Police Service, officers who work so hard. And I say this with a bit of authority because I have been out there, I've interacted with some of the officers who are serving this country in very difficult areas. Some of them exposed to huge risks. Some of them have died in the line of duty. Others have been permanently maimed in the line of duty. But unfortunately, Chair and members, we have another part of our officers are giving us a bad image because they are collecting bribes from motorists, both wealthy people and poor people. Somebody breaks the law on the road, they give 1,000 shillings and the crime disappears. Some poor border fellow who is cannot afford more than 100 shillings or 50 shillings breaks the law, they give out the 50 shillings, the offense disappears. So we must eradicate corruption on the roads. The few officers who are collecting bribes on our highways are letting us down, and they are spoiling the image of the very patriotic and selfless officers who are serving this country in enforcing the law, facing criminals head on, and in the process some of them have paid with their lives. Others have been maimed for life, left young families who you know, we owe them a duty of gratitude and support. Chair, we have some illegal PSVs. There are people who run PSV businesses outside the law. There is a category of people doing PSV businesses, but they are not licensed and certified as such. Some are called Sientas. There's a Sienta group. There's another one called NOAA, a NOAA group. And these are some of the problem areas we will clean out. So all those fellows who are running those businesses must stop immediately. If they don't stop, we are going to get them out of the roads. That is part of the operational guidelines that we are going to provide when myself and my brother CSA, Kipchumba Murkomen, convene the meeting we are convening next week. Chair, speeding is the biggest problem. Most of the accidents are caused by human error. 86% of all accidents are caused by human error. And human error mainly comes as a result of either speeding, or maybe the driver is fatigued because of long distance and many hours of work. But again, there is a problem of corruption. Corruption, corruption, corruption. While some officers are doing a good job, Others are busy picking money and exposing the public to risk. There has been a bit of awareness creating, but I think again we are not doing enough. Many of people in this room, I think all of us are old enough to remember the road safety campaigns that used to be run on radio, Usalama Barabarani. Every morning, there was someone from the traffic police to speak to the country. That time, radio was the main medium in Kiswahili, talking to drivers, pedestrians, and they were fairly effective because many of the pedestrians, especially rural areas, don't understand the highway code. Somebody has come from the village to the nearest town to do something, but because this is now a highway with tarmac, they are not very conversant with some of those regulations. Again, the budget for public awareness has gone down. We are working hard. In fact, part of the meeting we are calling next week will be to reorganize even our budgetary priorities, even within the available framework, budgeting framework, to put in a little more money to our traffic enforcement agencies, including the traffic police and also the NTSA and the others. Now, speeding, which in this country we erroneously call overspeeding. There is no overspeeding. It is speeding. Okay? Speeding is the biggest problem. Please, even where it is indicated 110 kilometers per hour, 50 kilometers per hour, we zoom past those places at 120, at 130, including senior members of society in the three arms of government. The violation of traffic law has not spared anybody. It has not spared the pedestrian who are walking carelessly along the roads, and they know the road can be a cause of death. Many pedestrians have died along the roads, especially Western Kenya, very notorious, and Nyanza. We also have speeding VIPs from all the arms of government and both levels of government, national and county government. They must stop. You must drive at the agreed speed or we will stop you. And please don't call anybody to help you get out of it, because nobody will take your call. It is wrong. We set a bad example when we ourselves as leaders, parliamentarians, ministers, PSCs, governors, we are the ones breaking the law through speeding, but also the speeding of PSVs, private vehicles, and so forth and so on. Let us respect the legal requirements on speeding.
My name is James Moretti from DIG's office. Thank you.
Good morning, Honorable Chair, Honorable Members. I'm Peter Odhiambo from the Office of the Commandant Traffic.
Honorable. Good morning, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Francis Gashiri, Communications, Ministry of Interior.
Good morning, Chair and members. My name is Mary Jenga, State Department for Interior. I'm the liaison officer.
Very good. Honorable Cabinet Secretary, we make a few remarks and I invite you to do the same. And we proceed with our engagement. Cabinet Secretary, we have invited you to this honorable committee to discuss a matter that is of great importance, great national concern. That is the enforcement of traffic laws and regulations by your ministry, Ministry of Interior. Cabinet Secretary, there seems to be, so they are good to go. So let me start with the Honorable Vice Chair.
Driving license to be renewed, you must undergo some certain approved training, either online or physically. The syllabus is gotten from this investigation, whatever we are talking about here, and it should be linked. Once you go to renew your license, it's declined because you have not undergone the relevant proficiency training. The last thing is that I have had CS Murkomen talk about that the government can come up with a new entity that will be mandated in investigating accidents. If you ask me, we are within financial difficult times as a country. If you ask me,
the issue and what you, because I was minded, Mr. Chair, to persuade this committee to do an inquiry, a parliamentary inquiry about that accident. And taking from where engineer is saying, some of these buses we buy from CDF and give the children are lorries. We should not carry people. They are lorries. And you don't know, the principal of the school does not know. Once you have given out a check and you go to whichever company which is manufacturing.
Please take this, my brother, to traffic police, being motivated by stopping a few cars and make some money. Then we will make the traffic police a place where people could be coming and going depending on who has seconded them here. You make a mistake, you are removed there, and we professionalize it. We give them capacity to investigate accidents, not to duplicate. And then we have a very clear